It's actually Maui, shapeshifter, demigod of the wind and sea, hero of man. I interrupted from the top. Hero of man. Go. Hello everybody, it's your friend and host Zora Katone, the other apprentice here, and today I'm going to be doing a quick little video review of the Disney Store Moana Deluxe Figurine playset. Now, to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, naturally being the Disney fan that I am, I would try to make every effort that I could to collect practically every Disney figurine set that comes out of the Disney Store for the past few years, although ever since Disney Infinity came out, I kinda sorta had to make the decision, just for money's sake, as to whether or not I wanted to buy the Disney Infinity figures or the figurine sets. Naturally, the Disney Infinity figures kind of won the coin toss. That is, until the game was unfortunately, and rather suddenly, cancelled this year. Excuse me. And one of the plans that was for the cancelled playsets and figures was indeed a Moana playset. So I figure, seeing how I can no longer collect those toys, not only did I go and grab every other playset that I missed, but I simply had to get this one. Just because ever since I saw the clips at the D23 Expo 2015, I knew that Disney had a winner on their hands. Now that the film has finally come out, after all this time in anticipation, the reviews have been great, and I could not be happier that people are loving this film just as much, if not more, than I do. So, enough of my little babbling. Let's get this beautiful set open and see how cool these fellows really are, because even from outside the box, you take a look at them and the detail is already amazing. No different from the actual film. So, let's just get these guys out of their boxy prison, shall we? Now, to anyone asking, yes, I have seen the film, duh, multiple times actually, and I'll try to keep things as spoiler-free as I can. There's not really much to spoil, but just to be safe, I'll try to keep the lid on it as best I can. So, let's get started with these guys. I'll try to be brief this time, I promise. Emphasize on try. But like I said, let's get right to it. First off, let's start with little tiny baby Moana. She was just a child and discovering her love for the ocean. This was the clip that I had seen at D23, by the way, where she first makes friends with the waters and just a child. And as you can see, the hair, especially on these figures, is really quite impressive. The sculpt is very, very intricate. You've got the flowers here, and the designs on the clothing is absolutely impeccable. And just look at her. Look, she's just so cute. Oh, how can you not fall in love with that little face? Okay, moving on. We move on to Moana herself, this time a little bit more grown up, and she looks beautiful. Just look at that. I don't know if you can tell, but right away my eyes go straight to the designs and the sculpt on the dress. The detail here, let me just get in a little closer just so you can see that. It's really, focus, there we go. The detail on her dress and on her clothing in general, like I said before, it's absolutely incredible. And just seeing this, the texture, and just letting my finger go through her hair here, it's absolutely amazing the amount of detail they put into her. Most of the figures, if they can't stand on their own, then they do come on a base of sand, just on their feet. So Moana here's got her oar, and she's looking rather determined, as she should. Honestly, Moana and Ali'i Carvalho herself are just the absolute most gorgeous rays of sunshine. This movie would not have been the same without her, and Moana definitely would not have been Moana without Ali'i, obviously. Anyway, I'm rambling, moving on. Yes, very beautiful and incredibly well detailed and sculpted. bravo to the team who designed this and made these. Already, I can tell that they've outdone themselves. Moving right along, we've got the demigod of the wind and sea shapeshifter and hero of man and women, Maui. And oh my goodness, would you look at the sculpting and the intricate details within the tattoos all over his body, all over his fish hook, all over his hair, and of course in the grass skirt and everything. It's just, and he's a heavy fella too, obviously. Well, I mean, he's hefty, but he's also much heavier than the other figures, obviously. Naturally, you've got that classic eyebrow raise, courtesy of The Rock, and he looks really good. Very well built, very sturdy, and stands on his own pretty well. Pretty well. Thankfully, all of these figures so far don't have any, how do I put this nicely, deformations. They don't lean over more ways than one, as some other figure sets sometimes have if you have a character that's abnormally skinny. But, you know, that's not their fault. You know, factories and, you know, whatever. Ooh, careful. Okay, watch my flailing limbs. Next, we have Pua and Heihei, looking adorable as ever. Honestly, animal sidekicks, gotta love them, and in this case, I most definitely do. I've got the plushies of these characters, and I gotta say, they are perfect for a cuddle party, but that's another movie. Even on Pua, there's a tiny little bit of fur in the sculpting here, which is really great, and he's so cute. I love pigs. And Heihei, well, okay, maybe Heihei may have been subject to the falling over just a little bit, but then again, we can't really count on Heihei to stand up straight without a little bit of help now, can we? No, but the feathers on him, the sculpt of the feathers look really good, and they feel great. There's this sort of bumpy, serrated kind of thing, but you know, in a completely child-friendly way. So that's good. Both of them are on a base with the sand again, and the feathers and loose parts and tails, yeah, pretty loose, but I don't think they're in any real danger of falling off or breaking, unless your child or you happen to roughhouse with them more than you probably should. But those are those two. Moving on, we have... Oh, pardon me. I completely forgot about Maui's hawk form. I'm so sorry. But yes, here is Maui in his great giant hawk form. And again, the detail is really great, and it feels really nice. The textures are awesome. But if I gotta say one thing, I'm really disappointed that they didn't have his wings spread out and you could see the hook design on the inside of his feathers, because that I find incredibly clever as far as character design goes. But nevertheless, I'm glad that they decided to include this. Next up, just because I want to get these little guys out of the way, not to be mean, of course, but we have the Kakamora, tiny little, and admittedly more cuter than they should be, but ferocious pirates. We've got two of them here molded up on top of each other, and it's a pretty sturdy sculpt. Again, they didn't skint on the details. Just look at that. Look at that as far as the coconut goes. I mean, isn't that great? I don't know how well my camera is capturing that, but that is gorgeous. That is absolutely wonderful work. Wonderful work. But not much to these. They look great. They're that's admittedly a rather clever way to showcase them in a figurine set. So I'm glad that these were included. Only reminds me that I am going to have to pick up the plush versions if I can and if I have time and money. But moving on, next we have Grandma Tala, another Disney character we can add to the awesome Grandmas Club. Again, the detail on the clothing is absolutely wonderful. I really wish that you guys could feel the textures of these, because as I'm running my finger over them, it's really, I'm quite blown away by the amount of care that was taken into sculpting these designs. It really says something about how much they really wanted to portray these characters in figure form properly. So major kudos to the sculpting team and designs and everything. As you can see, getting tongue-tied, tongue-tied. Oi! She's got this lovely, kindly expression on her face. And for the village crazy lady, hey, you know what? I'll take her word for anything. If I do have one complaint, I'm kind of sad that they used her hair to cover up that gorgeous ray tattoo that she had on her back. But, you know, you can't have everything. I imagine it'd be a little bit more difficult to sculpt that on her than it would be for someone, say, Maui or anything. But overall, a really, really nice looking figure. She's got her cane and the sand base, so really, really nice. Really nice. I'm glad that they decided to include Moana's family in this set. Speaking of family, we move on to... Ooh, excuse me. Chief Tui. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Moana's father and leader of the village, obviously. He's got this lovely necklace and more tattoos on his arm and back and chest. And again, I'm just... I'm going to be sounding like a broken record here, but the detail on the clothing, absolutely gorgeous. This cane here and the feathers, absolutely great. He's looking very leader-ish. That's not a word. But he looks good. He looks like a father would. And then coming down here, we've got the base, and it's a lovely, well-rounded figure. Stands up pretty well on his own. Base is pretty well flat, and he looks great. I am wondering why they did not include Moana's mother, Sina, because, you know, she is a pretty prominent figure in the film, again, without giving anything away. She's there for her daughter, and she helps lead the village, so I don't know why that they wouldn't include her in the set. I mean, if I'm perfectly honest, I'd much rather have her in the set than Giant Hawk Maui here. Just because he doesn't have the hook imprint on the feather thing, wingspan, that, like I said before. But in any case, moving on. We move on to our villains of the film. Tamatoa. And, oh, hey, look at that. Oh, he is actually rather shiny, but obviously scaled down just a little bit. Sorry, I had to hear that awful singing. The detail on this one is quite nice. Again, texture is very good. Patterning is very consistent. Although, I can't really... I'm going to have to use my camera to see if I can really see the detail in his face. There's not much there, which is kind of disappointing. But given how the rest of the figure looks, you know what? I'm not going to complain. They remembered that he lost a leg, so hey, I'm gonna cut them some slack on this one. He looks great. He stands pretty well. I think it's one of the claws that is holding him up, but obviously a fellow of this size doesn't need a base. Why would you? Especially when you look this colorful. But in any case, there he is, and I'm just gonna put him like that because, you know, he deserves it. And finally, last but certainly not least, we come to Taka. Ooh, this is a heavy one as well. The lava monster of the film, and my goodness, this figurine looks absolutely incredible. I really hope my camera is picking this up well, but would you look at that? The material made for this is obviously much different than the rest of the figures. It's sort of translucent, but it's got this kind of... Ooh, it even looks like bubbling molten lava and smoke and everything. Just look at that. Like, even in the fire and the lava here, it's got little indents and the face here, spiral and everything. It's just so gorgeous and so very well crafted. The translucent plastic here for the water base is, I find, an excellent touch. But wow, you talk about an imposing figure, and this, I gotta say, this is probably one of their most intricate characters that they have ever put out. All of these figures really are incredibly intricate, incredibly detailed, and honestly, even if you don't collect these figures as much as I do, I definitely gotta say these are worth every penny. I don't know how much longer the deluxe version of the figurine set is going to be out, but if you can grab it, please do so, because I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I just wonder if my camera can actually do these figures justice, but like, look at these. Look at these. I mean, overall, I definitely recommend picking these up. If you have a little bit of spare cash on you, or even if you don't, definitely make the effort to pick up this figurine set, because it is absolutely gorgeous. The team designing and building these figurines have absolutely outdone themselves. Bravo, major kudos, and I highly recommend these to any toy collector, any Moana fan, or any Disney fan. And if you haven't already, please do go out and see Moana, because it is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I waited for this film for like, what, 3-4 years? And I can honestly tell you, it did not disappoint, and neither did these figures. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is my review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more reviews like this, then please do feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, until the next video, I am Zorakatone, the Other Apprentice, and I'll be seeing you real soon. Bye!